my name is Ksen, and today I'll do some talking. I thought about doing role play, but it's a little tiny bit too hot for that. I have pencils, not usual ones. I have my book here as always. It's the only book I have present here. So you need to understand that it's the only book I have here. And I have my tablet, iPad. But I'll remove the cover. It'll be easier to work with. I have a question. Why I have such a heavy makeup? Or it was heavier, but as it's like 30 degrees Celsius outside, it's a bit tired. But it was brighter, more black. So, the whole day I was filming TikToks. And as one of my characters, Alison, I'll show, when I created the mood board for In Unknown Ways stuff, first thing I realized that I could not understand how my main character looks like. I could not find the image that looks like just her, until my friend sent me a photo of Shelly, I guess. So she looks like very similar, but my character has blue eyes, and there is this thing about the eyes that when she's consumed with darkness, her eyes become red, red irises and black eyeballs, those monstrous eyes. I don't think I have a picture of her eyes here. But they become monstrous, and as blue is opposite of red, it's like she becomes the opposite of herself. Like innocent, childlike Alison becomes this creature. So I have an idea. So basically she is the queen. She was a princess, she became a queen. So she's a princess, wearing nice gowns that Maxime Taylor suits her. She has dark black hair, like those. They're wavy, a little bit less wavy, more like mine maybe. They're wavy. She's very pale as she spends most of her time in a castle, and she's sick, so. And she's like this darker version of herself when she's young. So I actually love this picture. It's perfect description, even though the person looks nothing alike. So there is a division right in the middle between light side and dark side. So there is just a person, and there is this creature, but it's like a shadow side and darkness. And there is her friend Benoit. He looks something like that. It's like the perfect picture I found. So he always dressed nicely. He has a perfect uniform, that's like the beautiful jacket, the shirt and stuff. He has brown, dark brown, curly hair, looks something like that. His eyes are brown. So he came with her. He's a comfort person. He's always around, but he's not only her friend. It'll be very uninteresting if he was only her friend and nothing more. Then who we have here? We have Arman. He's like a right hand of the king, but like he just rules over the kingdom basically. King throws his tantrums, does his stupid decisions, and he tries to make it easier for everyone. And it looks like him, but he's like a little bit younger. He's in his mid-20s, I guess. And I have Stefan here. Stefan. With 2 F's. He is from Radian, so he has red curls. He's very, very realistic, but he loves reading. He spends most of his time reading. He was very protective of his sister. Yes. So Benoit is from Syria, like Alison. Stefan is from Radian, and Arman is from Erga. It's like this island, and their culture is very beautiful. Like I'll enjoy writing about them all. So it was Stefan. Do you have a picture of his sister? Probably should have at least one, please, of Adriana. I don't think I have, actually. That's very weird. Okay. I'll put it right here so you could see her. She's nothing alike like Stefan. She has brown hair, dark brown hair, more defined features. She's more fierce, more active. She's very fun. She's outgoing. She's always on the move. She's just a very fun person to be around, but also she's like the very chaotic character. And Kaya. And she looks like that. It's like the closest picture I found. She has not very long hair, not very short. She is very smart. She is very good with numbers. She's very good with economics, with math, with planning, strategizing. She's like very good with it. But she is like more of a side character in the first book because she appeared somewhere in the middle. So she'll have her own story moving in the future books. So she lives in Oakenfair, a village near the castle capital Underhall, and she lives with her father in little pub in, how you call it? So yeah, she only can see shadows, like, you know how some people can see silhouettes when they're appearing in the light. So she's basically can only see that. So she's very outgoing. I really love her. And like, I wish I wrote more about her in the first book, honestly. When I finished it, I was like, okay, I'll need to write her more in the second book, because there was like so little space to write everyone down. And that's the problem of having too many characters. Okay, who is next? I have Maxime. He's him. He's from Lorna. He's blonde hair man. And it's funny, my friend, hi, if you're watching, thought that he's an old man. He's not. He's in his 20s. He's a very good tailor, very talented, very practiced. and he has green eyes, very well-spoken person who is very good with communication with people, but he's also not very outgoing, so it's like introvert but not, maybe extrovert but on how we call it, so a person who's very good with talking but doesn't really want to, like me. Yes. So there is also Uma. She's from Batish. It's on the other side of the sea. There is the map. So there's Krelon and there is Batish, if you can see. So she is a princess that basically is an heir to the throne. She is very, very, very nice. She's smart, but she's like very serious when it comes to politics in her country. She loves her kingdom. She's very perceptive, very thoughtful, and she loves having friends, but she's also very careful about the relationships. She loves her independence, so it's very important for her when no one talks over her and when she can express her own opinion. So yeah, there is a king to Krelon. His name is Edward, and he is a character that made me like a little bit annoyed when I reread my book every time. It's like, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know why I react to him all the time like that. Like I wrote him, but he annoys me to no end every time. He's in his 30s. He's very, very, not narcissistic, but he's like selfish. He is a king, and the whole world in Krelon is just tiptoes around him, and he doesn't really like to think, or so it seems. He doesn't like traditions that much, which is strange for a king, right? And he is controlling, which is not nice. So there's like main characters, and the hardest part is always to describe them to the point where you just need to tell plot lines, but you don't need to spoil anything, which is hard. Like, I love my plot and I always want to share with people like all the main points, all the Easter eggs, all the fun stuff and what I thought, and like just I want to share, but if I overshare it'll be like spoilers, too much spoilers, and no one will want to read it. So Krelon is a kingdom full of contrasts. Here shadows and light come into union. Forced to marry the enemy to her country, the newly crowned queen soon discovers how truthful it is. Caught in the middle of political intrigues and betrayals, Alison realizes the bright side of leaning into the shadows and, with all her new friends, tries to outrun destiny and keep herself from going insane. Story full of adventures and mystery, power of knowledge, and admitting the darkness we all have within. So basically, yes, main character is Alison, but story goes around many other characters. Their relationships. Oh, I forgot to tell you about Shelly. Oh my god, how could I forget? It's just my favorite character. I always think that I talked about her and I always miss her because she's always in the back of my mind. So Shelly is a head cook of Underhall. She's very caring. She's a little bit older than everyone actually, like Arman age. And she is from Ifella. She is very caring, she's very kind, but she also has a secret. She's very perceptive. Yes, and it's a very fun dynamic between her and Arman and Alison and Benoit. Like, their friendship with Benoit is amazing, I love it. And yeah, I can't talk about her like for long because it'll be too much spoilers. So sorry about that. But yeah, the story goes around my character who's goes a little bit insane. But it's like predestined. There's destiny and legends and stories and saints and gods and many other things that just make the world complete. When I first wrote it, it was very bad because it didn't have any background. It just had a story plotline that I used, but it also was a little bit empty because without meaning to some actions, without some very nice ideas and some traditions and culture, the story loses its meaning very quickly. When there is no holidays to celebrate, when there is no myths and like beliefs, it's not that interesting to read. So yeah, I was very inspired by many things I read and watched. And first it was, of course, it's from Shadow and Bone. I watched this movie and I didn't like that TV show. I didn't like that shadows and light belong to two different people. Like, it's good for like romantic interest, even though it turned out what it turned out. Yes, but just we all have shadow and light in us. Like, we're not completely good or completely bad. We're like something in between. And my favorite characters are always great characters. What if one person could control both shadows and light? What then? What if they kind of had access to both, or they could influence it, or just something was to one person and one person only? So like in a discovery. And I just went around it. It was all dark. As it is a dark fantasy, actually. A dark fantasy. And I'm pretty happy with it. Because as much as you think the story should go, you never know when it ends, right? You just write and think, well, when will it end? And in my case, it ended in a cliffhanger, as always, as I need to write second book and third one. But first book is like introduction to the world, to the situation, to the discovery of the character. And the second one is a little bit more into the fantasy part of the world, into magic, into gods and saints and stuff. So if you read my book, some parts of it, I'll continue my series of reading my book in September when I come back home. As I kind of feel reading here, it's too loud, and I'll continue reading it. But if you read it already, please share your opinion, your comments, your reviews. I'm very interested, because I always want to know what people think of my book. And when they tell me, it's very good points to consider, what to change in a second book, how to like improve. As a writer, it's very important to improve, because if you're stagnant, it's no fun. So yeah, what else would I want to talk about? I wanted to share quickly before I end this video. I watched the second season of Good Omens. And just my goal as a writer is to be able to write angst as well as Neil Gaiman does, because it hurts a lot. It was like the saddest thing I've watched. Maybe not saddest, but it was pretty sad. It was heartbreaking. As a big fan of Good Omens, I watched it when it first came out and loved it ever since. And watching season 2, expecting it, I expected very different things. Now I'm just like, please give me season 3. I want a happy ending, please. Oh, yeah. So maybe maybe some parts of my book were inspired by good omens too. Yeah, actually, right. Some parts, but no one can outdo the genius of Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, no one can do that. They created Crowley and Aziraphale to the point where they're very lovable, but also you continuously think you're an idiot. Like you continuously think throughout the series. And I don't know. I just love it with all my heart. Yeah. Today's video is all done, all set. It was a little bit impromptu because I had no idea what to film here. And I asked you, what do you think I should do more in a post in the community? So if you're interested to add your ideas, please add. I kind of plan things ahead. And as I'm planning, as I find right triggers and try to understand how to work around things, like around lighting and stuff, I just film talking videos to test sound with or without windshield, with lighting and stuff. I thought, well, I'll talk, like, previous video and this video will be like talking, rumbling. Last one was whispering, today's is soft-spoken, with a minimal of triggers. So if you're interested in more videos, please subscribe, push the bell button, and soon will be coming more interesting things. I'm preparing a roleplay, so I need a bit more time to do that. So I film rambling videos because of that too. So yeah, I hope you liked that one. I hope talking makes you sleepy too, because I always fall asleep to talking videos, especially long ones, like something that some documentary, something like it's silly, but I always fall asleep and wake up at 3 a.m. to charge my phone. I hope that you liked today's video. Truly, if you didn't write down, I'll do less rambling. But I love talking to you. I love answering your comments. So please leave a comment. I truly love talking with you. Talking. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in